Hey Internet, Eric here again. Um, it's time. If you saw one of my videos about a week ago, you knew where I was going, and I wasn't too comfortable, and I wasn't gonna like it. So I'm gonna keep this introduction short and sweet. It's time to talk about the Green Inferno. Now, first you're gonna have to excuse me because I will be using my phone a lot in this video because this is the first movie review I'm going to do where I don't actually have a physical copy of the movie in front of me. So I have a couple pictures downloaded on my phone, and I got a little cheat sheet. You see, quick recap of a video from a week ago. I was discussing about how much I do not feel comfortable when it comes to jungle cannibal movies. You know, cannibals. You know, in like jungle, the rainforest, shit like that. It gives me just an uncomfortable feeling. I can handle zombies, the hills have eyes, shit, anything like that. But what gets me about cannibal movies in general, the jungle cannibals, is we know for a fact there are tribes that still practice this, and it's the realism that gets me, and that's the only thing I can think of. So, if you saw my video, I told you how uncomfortable I was having to go see the movie with my friends, and how much I thought they were dicks and assholes. And my take on the Green Inferno is, my friends are still dicks and assholes, but you know what? I'm glad they made me see it. Because all this avoidance of it, I would have been upset because I ended up seeing a really, really good movie. For those of you who don't know, because, I don't know if this has actually gotten a wide release everywhere or not, but if you know the genre, you know what I'm talking about, with the Green Inferno. The basic plot synopsis is, we are following the main girl, Justine, and she is played by Lorenza Izzo, who I probably butchered her name, and I believe she's actually the girlfriend of director Eli Roth. And like I said, her name is Justine, and she's a college student. And one day she sees a protest going on, outside of her college, her dorm. And she meets up with the leader, or she learns about the leader, Alejandro, played by Ariel Levy. It's spelled Levy, so it's Levi, who knows. He's the leader of this protest group. And it's about, the protest group is about the rainforest in Peru that are being destroyed by logging companies. And of course they want to go there and stop the logging companies because it's, destroying the habitats of the animals and of course, the villagers that live there. So, long story short, she joins them. They fly to Peru. Like I said, this is going to have minor spoilers. They fly to Peru. They meet up, and they do their deed. They stop the logging company. They do what they were going to do. They stop the logging company, and on their plane ride back, to the States, they're celebrating, and suddenly plane engines explode, and they crash into the Peruvian jungle, and they are found by this tribe. We don't know yet, but we know they end up being cannibals, and this tribe, I believe, mistakes them for the logging company, members of the logging company, and they hold them captive, and they do all these rituals with them, including murder and cannibalism and all that family-friendly stuff that we know about, and that's it. It's basically pretty cut and dry. And like I was saying, this movie ended up being, one fantastic movie. So good. I'm so glad my asshole friends kept me to my word and made me come with them to see the Green Inferno. First off, I don't know if it was the fact that I knew what I was getting into, but first off, the tension in this movie is really, really good because Eli Roth builds up the tension of going into the jungle with, great shots of above the rainforest trees, and you hear the jungle drums being beaten, and it's very, very loud, and it was fantastic in the theater. Um, the acting was surprisingly very, very well done, and to my knowledge, these are all basically unknown actors, unless who's in Eli Roth's group of friends. Um, Lorenza Izzo, as the main girl Justine, she was pretty damn good. She was very likable, very sympathetic, um, and I personally really hoped she would escape. Um, Ariel Levy, or Levi, who plays Alejandro, he is, and this isn't a spoiler because you find out early on, he is like the perfect protesting asshole. He will do what he wants and whatever it takes to get his point across and get what he wants done. And you find out more and more, the more you see this. I mean, he's an asshole to begin with, but then there's a scene where they have to deal with the logging company, and something goes wrong for one of these characters, and their lives are put at stake. Alejandro gives no shit because he wants this protest and what he wants done. He wants it done at all costs. Doesn't care if there's collateral damage or not. And then after they are held captive by this Peruvian tribe, the I guess the assholishness of Alejandro just gets worse and worse and worse. And there's some surprises surprising things that he said that shocked me and both of my friends that were with me. We had no idea. We did not see this. It's not really a plot twist, but it's just a little twist in a character from Alejandro that just made him from the stereotypical asshole to like the bottom of the barrel piece of shit. And this actor, Ariel Levy, he did a fantastic job. Fantastic job. A lot of the other characters this isn't really a knock on it, but a lot of the other characters are kind of throwaways. I mean, you got the fat, lovable, not really dumb guy, but comic relief guy. You have the whore, you have the stoner, and then you have a couple straight people. The straight men and women, and they're all done very well. I mean, the stoner wasn't annoying. The lovable fat guy didn't get on my nerves. There were subtle hints that the one girl was, a whore, but it wasn't, thrown in our face, that she's a whore, she did this guy, she did that guy. It was just simple nods and mentions, which was great. It wasn't ad nauseum. Let's see what else. The gore. Now, see, I knew I was in for, I guess you could say I was in for a treat, but I knew I had, like I said, I would be squirming because the effects is done by Greg Nicotero. If you know the name Greg Nicotero, you know he's behind The Walking Dead. He's behind the effects in The Hills Have Eyes remake. He's behind the effects in the Piranha remake. And just Wikipedia his name, and you'll see everything that this man has done. And he is fantastic. Like I said, the gore is really good, but I was actually surprised in how little it is. There is one major scene, and it's the scene where a character, is basically, minor spoilers, a character is pretty much hacked to bits. This is like their first, I guess, sacrifice to the village, and he is made into a meal, for the village. And Greg Nicotero's in rare form here. We have eye gouging and tongue cutting and limbs being chopped off. And then one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie is after this character is killed, and the limbs are taken off and all that shit. You cut to, I don't know, probably a couple minutes later, And I just love this scene. It's one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie. It's I guess a lot of the women in the village, and they're preparing the body, and they're just talking to each other in their own dialect. And what's great is they're doing this to this, this dead body and preparing it for a meal like it's just another fucking day. And that is just so great. Just a wonderful idea. And then, like I said, that's only the really major gore part. The rest, and this is what actually gets me the most, the rest of it is left off screen, but it's like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where a lot of people assume that that's one of the bloodiest, it's going to be a gore fest, and there's hardly any blood on screen because it's your mind playing tricks on you, imagining what you're really seeing, and that I think, that's worse than anything. And like I said, there's a lot of stuff that I can't spoil because, there's I'll call it the inspection scene. That's all I will say. The village. There are two village elders in this movie. There is a male and a female. The male is this scary looking motherfucker right here. Okay, kind of hard to see with the glare. But yeah, he is the... Let's see if you can get it better without the glare. Shit. Well, he is the male village elder. Okay? There's a better shot. And what I mean by the inspection scene, all the women in the protesting group are being inspected by this bitch. Okay? This is a female. Alright, let's see if it works. Yeah, see? It sucks with the glare. But... that's the female elder. And she is what I'm assuming, because there's some foreshadowing in the beginning of the movie about a ceremony that is done to women. And I'm assuming she is inspecting which of the women that are left after the plane crash is a virgin. And her own little creative way, she finds out one of them is, and that got me squirming because certain things don't go there. No. Physically that is not supposed to go up there. And I'll leave it at that. You can make your own judgments and your own assumptions, but that had me squirming. Let's see. There is some attempt at comedic relief. And a lot of it is done really well. You have, the usual smart-ass remarks by a lot of the characters. Like the stoner is actually very funny. There is a scene, like I said, one character is dead, okay? And they know that as this character, like I said, not major, spoilers, one character has died, and they know that this character will be the next one made into a meal. So the stoner he's got some weed on him. So what they do is they shove the weed down the person's throat. So they think, while they're cooking the person, the entire tribe, will get stoned and get high. And they do. And this scene I was laughing out loud in a theater, watching the cannibals deal with being high on marijuana, and it's so funny. I'm not big on pot jokes. I enjoy Cheech and Chong and I liked Half Baked, but I didn't think that once I first they mentioned this idea, I'm like, lame. But excuse me, it ended up being a home run joke. Yeah. There is actually not much I can complain about this movie. There's a couple attempts of Eli Roth trying to lighten up the situation with, I guess, some black humor. And some of it just didn't work. It was horrible. One example is there is a character who takes nerve pills because, to fly, and they can't handle flying. and it's been so long since they took the nerve pills, and of course now their nerves are going crazy because of all the things that the cannibals are doing to them. So they can't contain themselves, and they have to take a shit, and they literally just drop trow right there, and it goes everywhere. And they got the bad sound effects. I'm just like, you didn't need to go there. It was just, I think it was just a poop joke for poop joke's sake because it's Eli Roth, but the thing is, the rest of the comedy, I think worked. It was really well done. Yeah. Like I said, I praise the acting. Likeable characters. One of my favorite characters, actually. He's just a throwaway character. Played by Nicholas Martinez, and he plays Daniel. He's a big bearded, bald dude like me, but he is so likable, so enjoyable, and he's one of those take no prisoners. I'm gonna get us the fuck out of here character. And you believe it. You believe it. He's going to do what needs to be done to get out of here. But he's also going to be helping everybody. He's not a piece of shit like Alejandro, who's out for himself. So that's good. One problem I have with the Green Inferno is there is some bad CGI in here. And there's a scene where a character is being eaten by ants. And I know it would be a pain in the ass to have the actor or actress, I won't say who it is, covered in ants. So they did the CGI ants. It just looks so fucking bad. It's just so horrible. And the problem with this CGI ants is, I mean, it's not like fucking Nicolas Cage Wicker Man B, scene CGI, but it's just so bad that it takes you out of the realism of this movie, because like I said, this movie, you already know that there are fucking cannibals in real life, so you're believing that this could obviously happen, and then when you see CGI ants and then bad CGI ants, to boot, it's just really bad. It took me out of the moment. I'm just like, and it's a good death scene. I mean, it's very sad, what happens to this character, but it's just like, man. I know Eli Roth has isn't big on budget. I think this was only like $16 million budget, and it obviously didn't go to the fucking CGI ants. But and like I said, there's nothing other than that and a couple of bad ideas to alleviate the tension. Like like I said, the poop scene. That I can trash this movie about. Yeah, seriously. And then when you think of the backstory of this movie, I mean, I was on IMDb and Wikipedia and learning all this shit. I guess Lorenza Izzo, who plays Justine, the main character, there's a scene where she's in the, in a river, and she gets caught up in the current and she's trying to escape, and I guess the actress really was drowning and they had no idea until, it was almost too late. And the thing is, Eli Roth, he kept some of that, in the movie because it was so realistic looking. So way to help out your girlfriend, Eli. This tribe, that's in this movie, I guess what I read, they are also an actual tribe, in Peru, and well, maybe not Peru. I don't know where Eli filmed it. But they had never seen, video equipment before or none of this shit. They've never seen a movie before. So what does Eli Roth do? To get them in the right mind frame, he makes them watch Cannibal Holocaust, which I've never seen, and I know I'm going to have to now because if I can handle Green Inferno, I at least got to see what it was inspired by. So Cannibal Holocaust has been added to my queue, but I'm not going to watch it anytime soon. Because from what I've heard, this is a lot worse, and I'm going to be squirming a lot more. But yeah, the villagers were showing Cannibal Holocaust, and they think when the movie was over, they thought the fucking movie was a comedy. I mean, they were applauding and everything. I mean, that's pretty fucked up to me. God. Yeah, I mean, shit like that. The scene where it's a plane crash, the plane's going down. I guess Eli had the actors, in a simulation. He thought they were in a simulation, and he says, "I just want everyone to act normal. Just we're going to test out the plane ride." And he ended up having the instructor spin the plane around, and the 90% of the reactions you see on screen of them freaking out is real. I mean, goddamn, I would probably want to punch Eli Roth after that, but the man got the shot, and it's a very intense scene, and it's fantastic. So, final thoughts. Yes, my friends are assholes, but I'm glad they held me to my word, because I would have been really disappointed, knowing now how much I enjoyed Green Inferno, if I didn't see it. So, major props to Eli Roth. He has won me back with the Green Inferno, because he kind of lost me a little bit with Hostel Part 2. Because Hostel Part 1 is still fantastic. I love that. And I haven't seen I haven't seen Cabin Fever since it first came to home media, and it's been so long. I remember kind of liking it in theaters, but Eli Roth has come such a long way. I mean, showing up in other movies like Inglourious Bastards, and cameos in like 2001 Maniacs, which is another movie I'm going to review for sure, because that movie is great. And not a lot of people know about it, so I want to at least get the name out there. But, and another great thing that was fun, and it kind of helped ease my tension, is while I was squirming, my two buddies, we're sitting next to each other in the movie theater, and one of my buddies is a huge metalhead and horror movie fan, so he loves the guts and gore. And we brought his younger brother with us, and the younger brother had seen like the classics, like Friday the 13th and Halloween and shit like that. But he had never, ever, ever seen like a gore movie. Like he said he'd never seen a Saw movie, nothing like that. And it was great that every time I was kind of wincing, I could see in the corner of my eye he was turning his head too. So that was a little bonus. So that was good. But yeah, all in all, Green Inferno, thumbs up, man. Good job, Eli Roth. It does set it up for a sequel. I guess the sequel has been greenlit, but sadly it's now put on hold. But yeah, when this comes out on home media, probably won't buy it right away, but when it drops in price, yeah, it's coming in my collection. So if you saw my last video, you saw how much I did not want to see it, and now look at me, if eating crow and saying how much I really, really enjoyed watching this, and I'm glad I followed through with it. So yeah, Green Inferno, good job. So this is the end of my video. Thank you for wasting 22 minutes of your time watching me. Just sit here in my basement and ramble on. If you like what you see, or if you have liked, my other videos, please subscribe to my channel. I'm now at 20 subscribers, which is cool. I'm finally starting to get subscribers that are not my friends, that I know. So people actually are enjoying some of the stuff, so I thank you for that. I still have more videos coming up. I'm going to be doing more movie reviews. Got a couple ideas going through my head for more You Hate It, I Don't, that series. And I got a couple more ideas going through my head. I still am writing some ideas down for, I mentioned it before, I'm going to do a series of videos where you see my little figures here, and I got some bobbleheads and other that, and they're going to just be talking about random stuff. Once I get, somewhat of a script idea written down, I'm going to try to figure out a way to edit that together. And I do have one more video. My buddy Roger, you've heard. So Roger, if you're watching, my buddy Roger tagged me in a video that I want to do and I'm going to do. And it's explaining like certain videos, like my favorite holiday video. A video I've seen probably too many times. And it's like I'll be talking about I think 5 or 6 videos, maybe more. So Roger, I'm not ignoring the tag. It's just I've been so busy. And I actually want to put a lot of thought in this, because as much as I love movies, I just don't want to pick, let's see, I'll just pick that one. No, I actually want to put a lot of thought into it and pick the best choices, for those categories. So, yeah, thanks again. Appreciate you sitting and watching this. Go see Green Inferno. Cheers, and don't go to Peru.